Feel like we're launching a ship here.
Oh boy. Okay, it says setting up for YouTube. I think sometimes, there we go. We're live. So we are live. Welcome back. Today we're talking about breaking through the noise, how you can stay visible and be top of mind in minds of your audience and your prospects, right? We are Nate and Simone, and we talk all things marketing. Welcome back. Hey Nate, how you doing? We have also a
Oh,
guest in the room,
great,
Shayla.
great.
Nice to see you. Good.
You're
So
welcome, welcome.
let's get started. Nate, you go first.
Well, the main topic is like you said, how small businesses can break through the noise and keep their brand top of mind. But also, maybe a key part of that is without stretching their resources too thin. I think that's an important aspect of this. Um, it's important. I think everybody realizes that it's important to maintain that visibility and be top of mind nowadays, considering how many other choices there are available on the internet and etc. And to be the first one that people consider whenever it comes time for them to actually um, make the choice to work with you or to purchase your products or your services, um, then that's where you want to be. The the main topics that we're going to talk about are, yeah, the visibility factor, building a consistent presence on a budget, the role of personal branding, leveraging SEO, social proof, and other things like that. And at the end, we're going to go through an activity this time. This is a little bit of a switch up, called the Visibility
Nice.
Map Workshop. That's what I'm calling it anyway. um, and so, yeah, that's pretty much what we're talking about here. So,
Okay,
strategies
sounds
to
good.
that are actionable, affordable, and scalable.
Actionable, affordable, and scalable.
Yeah,
Sounds good. Sounds good. I think we can all use that.
absolutely.
Hmm. Okay. So when it comes to visibility, what does that mean? And how do you stay visible?
Well, I think it's, just kind of what it sounds like. You have all these other, choices out there that people that are competing for, customers' attention, um, to maintain a certain position in the customer's mind. And there's no shortage of things that are distracting customers nowadays. And, you know, um, how in the world do you maintain a presence in their minds along with everything else that's going on, right? I think it was Alex Hormozy that said that attention is the new oil for the modern economy, and the trick here is being able to capture that attention and harness it and use it to your advantage. If you can,
Absolutely.
yeah, if you can stand out, if you can, people get people to stop the scroll, as they say, um, then you have accomplished what 90% of others couldn't. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's
So in
it's a
other words,
tremendous feat.
you never want to like disappear off the radar. You always want
Yeah,
to you want to be
yeah,
seen. You want to be
exactly.
seen. You
And
want to make sure that yeah, people remember you when it comes time to um when they need what you have to offer. You want them
yep,
to think of you.
exactly. Um, and just to kind of give you, hold on one second here. Where did I go? Just to kind of give you a little bit of context here. Let me see. I have some interesting statistics for you
Okay.
on on this topic. Real quick here. Okay, there we go. So kind of one of the things that we're going to be talking about today is this concept of content marketing, having a strategy around that. That is sort of like a most bang for your buck approach, when it comes to staying top of mind.
Yeah.
According to HubSpot's marketing statistics, every year they do a state of marketing report, and they say that 29% of marketers actively use content marketing, um, and 50% of marketers plan on increasing their investment in content marketing, and that was as of last year. I'd imagine it's going to be a similar trend this year. They haven't come out with their new report yet, but it should be out soon. Um, and let's see here. 48% of social media marketers share similar or repurposed content across platforms with minor moderations or adaptations. In comparison, 34% make unique content from scratch for each platform, and 17% share the same content across platforms. So this is a method that we're going to talk about a little bit, how to be efficient, and not reinvent the wheel every time. One of the crucial things to keep them affordable, right? Both in time and
Absolutely.
money.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, yeah,
Okay, cool. So,
I think well, one real quick here. The
mhm.
I guess the idea is like key challenges here that small businesses face when it comes to prioritizing resources for marketing. I think, Shayla, if you don't mind, I mean, can you chime in on that?
Um, I mean, that's a true statement. We don't have enough money to do anything. And then the thought is, how do you determine how much to spend and where to spend it? And I'm a health professional with a health product. I don't have any marketing experience. I'm not a Google expert. I just learned the term, SEO in the last few years. So it's very difficult when you're barely paying yourself. Actually, that's my goal for 2025. So then if you're, deciding whether to put $500 extra towards online ads, and then online ads is overwhelming. How do you make that decision when you're not even sure you're going to get your money back on that? So it's
Yeah.
like to me, it's like gambling because it's throwing it to the abyss.
That's hilarious. I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. It's funny because I always say, I come from Indiana, so there's a lot of farmers around here, and I say farmers are some of the biggest gamblers ever.
Yeah.
But so are small business owners, apparently. So,
True, true. Yeah. Hmm. So you really,
so
it sounds to me like, uh, yeah, there are what's necessary is strategizing and prioritizing and really educating yourself about like what's really going to move the needle for you in your business.
I mean, yeah, I feel like everybody is targeting me. I get, LinkedIn requests and I get emails bombarded with people telling me how they can increase my revenue and get me more, traffic. And everybody is telling me that. And it's almost like, who do you believe? Right. And
Yeah.
yeah,
it's really hard as a business owner to decide what to do, who to do it with, and how much to spend on it, because you just don't have enough. I wish I had unlimited funds to just try everything, but you don't. So it's a real struggle when you spend money and you don't see the return, or you don't understand how long it takes to get the return. Anyway, there's so many variables. I'm the classic business owner that does not understand all the different facets of marketing. And so when you decide to spend money on something that you don't know, again, I'm a health professional. It'd be like, Nathan having knee pain. And he's like, should I go to the massage therapist? Should I go to the chiropractor? Should I go to the acupuncturist? Should I go to the physical therapist? Should I go to the athletic trainer? Should I just Google something? What should I do?
yeah,
And I believe there's a right and wrong, but he doesn't know. That's how I feel about
yeah.
marketing.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Hmm.
That's good to know. That's good
So
to know.
in your estimation, Shayla, maybe you don't know, maybe you don't have an idea, but what do you think it actually takes for a small business owner to stand out, or small business in general to stand out in a saturated market? What have you learned thus far, guess. And
Yeah, so I don't know the answer to that question, but what I've learned is that when I did videos that I was told to do by marketing personnel, like, oh, you need to do YouTube shorts, blah, 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 those did not get the traffic that they thought they would, even though the industry was saying those were popular. But when I did ones that I just wanted to do because I thought I should, and again, I'm a physical therapist, specialized in geriatrics. I did a 22-minute sterile video, no graphics, no audio, no whatever, just me talking to the camera for 22 minutes about chronic knee pain. And it had the most views out of all my videos combined. And, again, my videographer was an intern and he was like, I cannot believe you don't want me to add blah, blah, blah to the things. And, you just want to talk into the camera, a few little captions on the bottom, like my name or maybe a keyword I said, but that was it. And so again, when you ask that question, I don't know the answer. I just feel like if I know my customer, then I should be able to know what I need to say to them. And so to me, my thing is I know my older adult knee pain patient. And if I can speak to them, then they will watch. And so then I feel like the job of the marketer is to figure out how for people to find that video that I created.
I think you got, 80% of it is knowing your ideal client, knowing them, knowing what their pain points are, what they want, what frustrates them. That's 80% of it right there, right there. And
Right.
speaking directly to them, because people will tell you to post all sorts of things, but if you're not speaking to the people that you're actually trying to reach, and everybody else, when you speak to them, and I'm hearing it and I'm like, well, I don't have knee pain. Well, I already self-disqualified and made room for the next person. Makes
right.
room for somebody who is more likely to be your client.
And Simone, you touched on it. What I realized over the last 2 years is I'm not speaking to everybody. I want to eliminate the no's right away. I don't want to talk to everybody, right? I want to talk to people, not only do they have knee pain, but they are willing to spend money on their health, right? It has to be both because I have a product.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
No, you are correct. But I'll tell you the noise comes into play when you have marketing people saying, someone this week was like, you need to be on TikTok. You got a product. People buy stuff on TikTok all the time. And I'm like, and as a business owner with no marketing background, I'm like, I don't think that's where my customers hanging out. I think they're hanging out, on Facebook, and I think they're typing in Google, and I think maybe they're even on Pinterest because most of the people are women who are going to search out something to solve their pain on their own. But yeah, it's really hard for me to discount recommendations when it's not my expertise. Again, the analogy is if I tell Nate, this is the exercise you should do for your knee, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'll be like, well, I'm the expert and I just told you. So that's how I feel like when I say no to marketing people, I feel like I'm saying no to the experts, but then I'm like, I don't think they're understanding every trend is not for my customer base.
Exactly. So true. That's one of the things that Nate and I talk about. We talk about what's it called, Nate? The marketing industrial complex.
yes, yes.
If you come up, you're in contact with somebody who does social media marketing, then they're probably going to tell you, you need to be on all these different platforms and you need to be posting this kind of content and that kind of content and this, that, and the other thing. But if you're interacting with somebody who builds websites, they're going to say, well, you need to build a website, and your website needs to have this, and it needs to be super pretty, and it's got to have all the SEO and this, that, and the other thing. You meet a funnel builder. Well, no, what you need is you need to have this, and you need to have this, that, and the other thing. Whereas when you come across a real marketer, they're going to look at your business and find out who you are trying to reach and help you to come up with a plan for your business and to help you to reach your customer. And it's not about, well, let me sell you this marketing tactic. It's about, my job is to help you make more money. And so let's strategize how to do that for your business. So,
yeah, but the question then becomes, Simone, how do I find the marketers, the real marketers that do that instead of are selling you what they know? How do you find those people?
I think
Yeah,
you've come
because
across a good one right here. You've met Nate.
part of the problem there is that they're also good at breaking through the noise, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
if they're good at what they do, then they're all doing a good job of getting to you. So that kind of muddies the waters even further in that case. But um, yeah, it becomes quite a interesting conundrum. I 100% agree on that.
Yeah.
Um,
And from a customer standpoint, let me also tell you, since you guys are in the marketing business, we already are overwhelmed with information. We already question every decision that we make. So when someone says, I think you should put this much money into Facebook ads, then all of a sudden you've created another level of uncertainty of, should I be doing that? And then
Mm.
you start doing your own research. And I am not apt to know. I don't want to become a Facebook ad expert. I don't want to become a Google ad expert. Like, I am a knee expert. Like, I am going to, it does not serve my customer well if I become a Google expert, when instead I should be researching the latest injections in knees. And so it's a real struggle when marketing companies tell business owners what they should or should not be doing. It just adds to our feeling of incompetence and not knowing. And it's real.
yeah. So kind of what we are preaching here with these discussions is to take a strategy first approach rather than a tactic first approach. So
Yeah.
someone who is trying to say, hey, you should be on TikTok. Hey, you should, like, I think someone's already said this, but those are all tactics. Those are all kind of like stepping stones on the way. And the people that are selling you they're selling you that because that's what they do, right? And there's nothing necessarily bad about that. It's just that,
They're running a
don't,
business. They're
don't don't
trying to
hate
get
the player, hate the
customers,
game,
right?
right? I guess is
Right. Yeah. That's it's what everybody does, right? I
but
think
but we're but
a
being
difference you should look
strategic
for,
about it, you know?
yes, is
Yeah.
find out who is helping you to be strategic about it, and look at the people who are looking at your business end to end. Um, find out, like, talk to the people who are actually willing to sit down with you and find out about your business, what's going on in it end to end, how you interact with your customers, how you get your customers now, and what your operations look like, and all of that. Like, what are you spending your money on? All that stuff.
And it
What
all
your
needs to tie
systems look
back.
like,
It all
all of
needs to
that.
tie back to your goals, like your business goals.
Yes, it needs
You
to
know, a
be about
lot
your.
a lot of like people that are trying to sell you the tactics, right? They have their goals and their own best interest in mind because they're trying to sell you the thing that they sell. And kind of in some cases trying to shoehorn it into, you know, who you are, where you're at. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, you know what I mean? So, but tying a being strategic about it means starting with, was it Stephen Covey said, begin with the end in mind.
Mhm.
So you have to know where you're wanting to go so
Right.
that you know how to get there, I guess,
It's like maybe
Um,
Facebook ads will get you there, but then again, maybe not. If they don't know your business, they can't really say.
right. And there's a lot of other things you could be doing that don't involve ads necessarily.
No,
All right.
absolutely.
So let's on that note, let's talk about that a little bit here. So um the trick here is how do you build a consistent presence on a budget? Um, and so um, branding, marketing, big abstract words. Simone, what can you offer Shayla about branding, marketing, and how important that is for a consistent presence?
Well, for your branding, first of all, you have to know what your values are. What is it you bring to the marketplace? Um, you need to know, so you need to understand with yourself what you're promising to the audience, who your audience even is, who that ideal client even is, and then decide what makes you unique. Because guess what? you're not the only person to help people with, with knee pain or help women with knee pain, right? You're not the only one out here doing that, right? We're not the only marketers out here trying to help businesses to grow. So we have to know, first and foremost, what is it that makes us unique? What is our story? What story are we putting out into the world, into the marketplace? What is that unique selling proposition, right? What differentiates you from the next lady who is helping women with their knee issues, right? And part of that, some of it could be, I mean, looking at your business, you may be offering like the exact same thing that, the person next door is offering. But what makes you unique is your experience, how you work with your customers, how you even got into this in the first place, your story. So that might be the thing that makes you unique. So you have to know that. And then of course, and then all of that, once you figure all of that out, then you kind of express it in your visual branding, your logo, your colors, your how you show up online and in print and on your storefront and all of that. So it gets expressed visually and in the messages that you're putting out into the world. There's something that Russell Brunson teaches in his perfect webinar training. And it's this thing called the big domino. What do people need to believe in order for them to buy from you? And that becomes your big domino statement. And so yeah, that I had to really think about that for a while. Like, and then and another statement, like what separates me from other people. Those, when you come up with those things, it really helps to separate you in the market from others. And you're not out here always saying, well, I'm the cheapest, I'm the most expensive, I'm the best, or whatever. It's really about what makes you different.
Yeah, you don't
Right?
even necessarily have to be better as long as you're different. You stand out in people's
Yeah,
minds. That's
exactly.
sometimes that's all it takes, you know.
Yeah.
One thing going along with that, being having a consistent presence is also, consistent, cohesive voice, visual identity. One of
Mhm.
my clients currently has no less than 3 different logos, and he's not sure which one he wants to go with. So it's like,
Like,
and
yeah,
they
let's
all
nail
have like
that down.
slightly different colors and everything. Like,
Oh
oh,
my.
there's that gets confusing, you know.
Right.
So,
You want to be
I mean,
consistent in the marketplace,
yeah,
right? I know, so many people who are using Gmail addresses for out in the marketplace for people to contact them on. I'm thinking, well, okay, yeah, the front of it may say, Shayla's Donuts at gmail.com. And I'm like, yeah, but no. It should be
yeah,
shaylasdonuts.com, right?
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
just stuff that's like that, that keeps you forefront in people's mind. I mean, you don't want people looking at your email address going, you know, should, give up Yahoo and go get myself a Gmail address. Seems like everybody's doing it, right? Like, no, you want them to be
Yeah.
thinking about about you and your business when
Yeah.
you give them your email address. Not, they may be looking at your URL and going, should visit that website and check out what else she's got going on,
Mhm.
rather than, maybe it's time to give up Hotmail. you
Yeah,
know?
and part of this too, and with being consistent, a lot of that involves time, right? Like how much time does it take you to do all this stuff? Especially if you're trying to do it on a budget, try to do it on your own. So in that case, then you look for, tools that are going to help you with scheduling. AI is great for mass producing things, although, it's a tool, it should not be it's a means to an end, not the end itself, right? So,
Right. And
um,
it should work for you. You're not working for it.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
knowing how to use that correctly can save you a lot of time. But
Absolutely.
if you just try to use it on its own as it is without double checking and making sure everything's okay, then it might end up costing you in
Yeah,
more
that ends
ways
up
than
hurting
one.
you in the long run, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard who was it? I was watching this podcast once. It was a former CEO of Google, and he was saying how um, if you're not using AI in every aspect of your business, you're gonna fall behind
Hmm.
because AI is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. Um, uh, the my software platform has a new what they call it has a new voice AI agent where you can attach it to a phone number, and when people call the phone number, the AI will answer, and whenever what questions people have, it'll answer their questions. It'll collect their contact information right up front, make sure the name is spelled correctly, all of
Yeah.
that, and
It,
you
it,
have a lead. Even though people are just calling to ask a question, it's always a lead. It always treats them as a lead.
mhm.
And then if you want them to schedule appointments, it'll help you to schedule their appointments. And in that way, it saves you from answering all these frequently asked questions. So having tools like that, especially if you're on a budget, I used to tell like my music clients all the time, you have two currencies. One is money and one is time. If you don't have much money to spend on something, you're gonna need to spend the time. Well, nowadays, with all these great tools that we have, automation tools and AI and stuff, um, we our time is much more efficient. We can use it much more efficient now. So it's fantastic.
I have a
Yeah.
question.
And oh, good.
Yeah, here's my question. So I'm dabbling into automation, and again, I'm a health professional. We're slow to do these things. I felt dirty, having Chat GPT help me write a blog or whatever. And like you said, Nate, like now I've realized it can create a template really quickly for me to just
Mhm.
be able to edit something. So I see that.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, my biggest customer, my Google reviews are written because they say Shulla's customer service, like Shulla, the way she speaks to us, the way she understands our system. And I'm in 2025, I'm automating all of that. All my touch points with my customers, I'm having to automate because sales have gone up. And so I used to do 10 touch points in the
Good.
first 30 days because I offered
Mm.
a 30-day return policy. So I wanted to make sure in those first 30 days, they understood the value significantly. Before I used to do
Mhm.
maybe 4 because I didn't want to bombard them. Anyways, but I've been doing them manually. But the advantage to manually means I'm talking to Nate because Nate told me that he takes care of his mom at home. So now when I
Yeah.
send an email, I'm like, hey, how's 1 week after surgery? But then it's like a PS. How's your mom doing? How were the
Mhm.
holidays with her? Right. I don't know how to keep the customer service level that I have
Mm.
done in 2024 with using email automation and using AI. I'm going to struggle with that.
Um, that's interesting.
So a way just came up in my mind just now. So say you've got an email nurture series going out. Um, if you're using a platform that allows you to keep whatever data it is that is relevant to your business, you can create special fields that say, you know, personal detail to include in the next email that goes out, right? And so you can write a little message, a little snippet, and then at the end of that email put that in the PS. And so you've got pre-planned messages that go out, but then you also have a little snippet, a little personal message that goes out as well. So there's the best systems have ways that you can do that.
Interesting. Interesting.
How are
I
you?
sorry, go ahead.
how are you collecting like this information specific to your clients?
So my client is the older adults, so people like probably over the age of 55, really probably about 62. They love
Mhm.
share their personal information. So usually
Okay.
the first point of contact is the inquiry on my website. They'll send a message saying this is my niece situation, and it's usually the same as everybody else's, but they don't know that. So they'll share information, and then of course I put that into my CRM, so I have information that they've shared before they ever purchased. It's
Okay.
easy for me to convert people after they reach out to me on my website because they share information, and therefore I can follow up and be like, hey, I heard, anyways, my point is I use the information
Okay.
they give me to help them on their journey and to make the decision to convert for those who need to. And then after they purchase, even though I'm a one and done, I don't have repeat customers. It's a one knee product. They can use it on both knees. They can use it on multiple products. But what they do is word of mouth. They tell
Mm,
their therapist about my product. They tell their surgeon about their product. They tell their neighbor and their church members. So to me, the customer service is still crucial. But yeah, they on a lot of the times they will respond to my emails that I send. So 1 week after surgery, 2 weeks after surgery, 4 weeks after surgery. Like Simone said, I do actually have them in a Word
mm,
document that I copy and paste. Meaning, here's my,
mm.
email number one template. I copy and paste it into an email, and then like she said, I'll add one sentence or two that's specific to that individual. But the feedback I
Okay.
always get is, "You are so personal. You are so different
Ah,
than all the other people that are selling us things. The
yeah.
ice machine company, the knee brace company." And I just worry by automating, which I have to do from a business standpoint. I woke up
Yeah.
today to 32 emails I have to send. So it's
Yeah.
not sustainable. Like I have to
Yeah.
automate it.
Yeah.
But my
So
worry
that,
is by automating it, how do I make sure I don't lose that customer relationship? Because
yeah.
that seems to be what they write their Google reviews about. It's not my
Yeah.
revolutionary patented knee product. They're
Uh-huh.
writing about Shella's
Yeah.
communications. They use my
Well,
name.
yeah. That is oh gosh. Being customer centric is the latest and greatest. So when it comes to marketing, there's like, fundamental shifts every year, it seems. And as of like last year, the latest is, responding to your customers in a timely manner, but then also being the personalization crucial. And like you said, it can get kind of unwieldy when you're talking about trying to do it at scale. Um, and so having something like AI and automations can really help out. What I'm thinking, and I think, Simone touched on this, is like, you set up email in your CRM. What are you using for CRM?
It's called Less Annoying CRM, LACRM.
Oh,
That's what it's
okay.
called.
Does it allow you to create templates?
It does.
Okay, so you can take each of those templates. Does it allow you to create sequences?
I'm researching that now, but honestly, I started with Klaviyo. And so I'm trying to do it through Klaviyo. I'm not trying to
All
do
right.
it through my CRM. My CRM is really cheap and HubSpot was too big and all these other things were too big.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm like I did Klaviyo for my welcome series. I did for my abandoned cart. So I felt like it's the right thing to do is for post
Okay.
purchase. I'm starting to create that right now.
So, like creating a sequence using these templates that you have in your Word document, but then you can I know in some CRMs, it kind of depends on which one it is and the functionality that they give you. You can actually create dynamic fields in those
Mhm.
emails, and that dynamic information is being drawn from the data that you have on that person in the CRM, maybe in the notes section or something like that. Or you could even do something super fancy and connect it in using like Zapier.
I just implemented
Zapier
that.
Zapier has a integration with ChatGPT. They actually have their own built-in AI now in Zapier, but you can use that to extract information. Um, and this is just kind of like a speculation. I've not done this before, so I'm not sure if this would actually work for sure, 100%. But have it extract information from previous conversations and then do its AI magic to actually spit out an email using that information. That's a possibility.
So let me
Um,
ask you this, as a solopreneur, I'm still in I manufacture it, I distribute it, I do everything right now. My question is, who would like okay, so me researching Zapier took a ton of time. Me researching Klaviyo took a ton of time. Me writing all these emails took a ton of time. I have a web host person, I have a kind of some, marketing people that just do the Google ads. But my question is, I finally found that Zapier could connect with my website and my shipping software, so that when anyways, I'm trying the best I can based on my limits on things. Who is the person that you be like, you know what? Again, if you had knee pain, I would tell you who to go to. Who is that person that I hire that understands all those integrations and figures out the best way for it to work for Shella Rooney and her Goni company? Like, who does that?
Well, I mean, that's kind of the type of stuff that Simone and I do. So,
Okay.
building automations, and that kind of stuff.
With using specific tools, though. I have a tool that is it's an all-in-one. It does connect to Zapier. You can connect like APIs and web hooks and that kind of thing to connect to other systems. But yeah, part of it is the person and part of it is the tool. Because if your tool doesn't allow you to do everything that you need to do, then your tool ends up being inadequate, and and then you end up looking for something that does that piece, but then you have all these pieces. So
Correct.
And data going back and forth on all these different places. I use an all-in-one tool where all of my client data and prospect data is all in one place. And like I was saying before, you can create those custom fields as far as like and keep notes on your clients. And I believe you could set up something where it sends the data out to like connecting using Zapier, send the data out to ChatGPT and say, hey, summarize this or come up. This is the latest on this story that this conversation I've been having with this person. Come up with like a question for an update that I should talk about with them or something, and have that sent back to you that you can include in the email.
So do you both have the same software system?
No.
Yeah, because I was going to be like, I remember
Different.
talking to Nate, like I said, probably was over a year ago, and you had your own system to like automate
Yeah.
stuff, basically. So now Simone has her own too. So as a solopreneur here, I'm on this call, and there's two people with two different softwares.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with that? Right?
Well,
I guess you talk to both and decide
yeah.
decide which one works best for you and go with that one. I mean, that's how that works. You want to work with the system that works best for you and your business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like I'm kind of the philosophy that if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. Just try to make it better. So if you're happy with where you're currently at, then my first approach would be, well, how can we, integrate the things that you want to integrate into your current system? Sometimes you may run into a wall where you realize, hey, you know what? It can't be done this way. You're going to have to strongly consider a different option.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's where I'm at. I think I created things over a year and a half ago that was fine based on the volume that I was having, but obviously a great problem to have is volume has increased. Like Simone said, you have time and you have money. Well, the money I wanted to go back to paying a lot of debt that I incurred over the 4 or 5 years that I was growing the business and buying out my business partners and COVID and all that stuff. So to me, money is still the limited thing. So now time has to be something that I figure out how to streamline. So I'm trying to work smarter, not harder. But yeah, you guys are speaking to my pain points, which is I know I'm wasting time doing redundant tasks, but I don't know the alternative on how to change what I'm currently doing because I don't know the options.
Yeah. Might be good to do what I call a marketing deep dive
needs assessment
process, needs assessment to figure out where you're at and what exactly you do need. We can talk about that. what that might look like. Um, in order to kind of be able to give you an accurate assessment. So, the whole thing with was it prescription without diagnosis and
Yeah, no, no,
malpractice?
you don't have to sell me on a detailed assessment. You do not have to sell me. I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
treat. You don't get one piece of advice on treatment until I have done a
Okay.
comprehensive,
All
detailed
right, all right,
assessment
yeah.
because what you think is a problem might not even be your problem. So to me,
Yeah,
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 I get
yeah.
that concept as a healthcare
Yeah.
yeah,
professional. Yeah.
That's the
absolutely.
first step to really
Yeah.
figure out where you're at. So we
Well, how
can, if you
about we
want to.
do one together and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
both Nate and I, and you get the best of both worlds. How about that?
I mean, I'm not going to say no to that. And like I said, I will say that, like I said, Nate impressed me way back when him and I spoke, when I was really struggling to figure out where I was going to go marketing wise. And again,
Mm,
I'm sure Nate does not remember this, but to me, it was a big deal for someone who was willing to, I'm not going to say negotiate, but like he wasn't strict in how he how he worked with businesses. And I felt like most of the people were like, this is what I do, this is how much I charge, this is what it's going to be, this is what it's going to look like. And it was kind of like, well, I don't fit into that. So then it was an automatic
yeah.
no for me because I couldn't even figure out how to do the budget for that. And so to
Mhm.
me, you are one of the first people that were like, okay, let's figure this out. What can you
Yeah.
afford? What can you do? What can you look at?
Mhm.
And I thought that was profound for me because that was the first time
Mhm.
someone had said that. So to me, you've
Wow.
always been in my back pocket of you think outside the box for small businesses and you figure out a way that you can help them while still getting paid. And I thought that was really good because I will tell you, it is frustrating for people to say, I'm going to charge you X amount per month, no matter whether I make you any money or not, forever.
Mhm.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
like, I feel like it needs to be mutually beneficial. And same thing in therapy. I feel
Sure.
like we tell you to come 20 visits with no guarantee that you're going to get better. I don't like
Mhm.
that. I feel like there should be I will not charge you to come if you're not getting better in this amount of time. Like I feel like that's how it should be,
Mhm.
but that's not how the system works. And I appreciated that about Nate
Mhm.
back then, and I'm hoping he's only gotten smarter and wiser and not more narrow-minded since I spoke to
Me
him.
too.
Yeah, but I liked that philosophy of let's figure out what I need, how much can I afford, what can I do,
Yeah.
and versus here's our package, choose package A or B, and that's it. That doesn't work for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's exactly and it's, what is it? I think it was Hormozy that said do things that aren't scalable. You
Yeah,
know?
I loved his book.
yeah,
His
when you're
his book,
starting,
his
yeah.
$100 million book, really
Yeah.
changed my how do I package that. How do I make my offer so
Offers
stupid that they would
so
be
good
dumb
that
to
Right.
that
say
feels
no.
Right.
stupid to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Um,
love that. Yeah.
But
mhm.
anyways, I would be open. Again, I don't want to steer this conversation where it's going, but I would be open to the
Yeah.
assessment to find out because I have a lot of moving parts happening right now, and I do
Yeah.
not pretend to understand how they all work together. I do not pretend. I
Okay.
don't like. I just know what I want to do and what I want to accomplish and what my headaches are. Again, it'd be like you coming in and saying, "My knee hurts here. It feels tight here. This,
Right.
whatever." You shouldn't be expected to know what the problem is and how to fix it, or
Right.
you wouldn't be coming to me. So
Right. Give,
I
give me
don't,
a Band-Aid and send me on my way.
yeah,
Right,
that's what I
yeah.
do not do. I would rather be like, okay, let's figure, and if I couldn't help you, I would send you, that's who I am. I would send you to someone
Yeah.
who does. But what I have found with marketing agencies is no, they keep taking your money, whether or not they're helping you or not. And they give me an answer that pacifies me because I don't know enough
Yeah.
to argue. And it's a very, it's a difficult situation to be
Yep.
in. So.
Understood. Understood.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
try to alleviate
Let's
that.
let's
So how about
figure that out.
after the YouTube recording, we schedule something,
Yeah, sounds
and
good. Yes, continue on.
yeah, awesome,
Awesome.
awesome. So
Um,
back
well, I
to
guess, yeah, continuing on with the conversation here, this definitely pertains. Um, Talking about the next, I guess, so you have the foundational branding, which I think
Mhm.
you're doing pretty good on anyway. You're very consistent with your branding and your logos and your colors and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think that's an issue for you. Um, but another key point here is personal branding. Um, and who you are as an individual. Um, and establishing yourself as a thought leader, in your particular field, which I think, you're doing that. You have very strong ideas, and especially what you were talking about your um, the shorts that you were doing, where you talked for 20 minutes straight on one particular topic, like you said, that's the type of
Is that
stuff
a
that
short or
establishes
is that
you.
a long form
It was a
video?
Well,
long.
surely you broke that up though, right? And you chopped
I
that up into
didn't.
shorts, or? Oh,
I
okay.
didn't. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
So again, there's so much low hanging fruit is what I call
Okay.
it with my
Okay.
company.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
can't even, I don't even have time, and my brain is going like this to
Yeah.
even figure out the low hanging fruit.
Gotcha. Yeah.
All right. But
I
yeah,
think
that's pretty crucial.
yeah, I
Because
think
they
that
say
is.
that, people buy from people, not from
Hmm.
businesses.
Exactly. That's a perfect
Yeah.
example of what we're talking about here with personal branding,
Mm.
setting yourself up as that expert. And so you probably are not involved. Well, I guess thought leadership in particular tends to, LinkedIn tends to be one of those places where people go for thought leadership, but then also to kind of market themselves as a thought leader. Are you
Um,
doing much there, or?
can I say that? And again, I'm open, but
Yeah,
what I've learned is that
yeah,
my direct to consumer, like direct to the customer, super
Yeah.
successful. I'm super
yeah,
Right.
successful
Your
because
customers aren't.
I understand my customer. I mean, I think better than they do because they have this is their first knee journey, and I've been watching knee journeys of thousands and thousands of patients for 26 years. So
yeah,
it's a slam dunk for me. Easy for me to figure out what to write about for them, what to create for them, what videos. But
yeah.
LinkedIn is the B2B part, and you have to
Mhm.
understand health professionals. I have to find the innovators. I have to find the early adopters. Those are hard to find in terms of surgeons and therapists. But the average therapist sees my product as something that takes business out of their business. Meaning when the
Mm.
patient cancels, their last 6 PT visits because they're able to do my product at home, the PT is not happy about it. When my patient happily introduces it to their surgeon and says, "Hey, guess what? I'm canceling my knee replacement surgery. I use this product. You should look it up." They do not look it up. Okay.
Right.
So on LinkedIn, you're right. It creates credibility in the business world. And 2025 is the year that I'm going to try to find a few, maybe like 2 surgeons and 2 PTs across the nation that get it. But up until this year, I tried it the first 2 years, and I squabbled it for 2 years, and now I'm going to revisit it because I feel more comfortable about my product, and I've penetrated the market enough with the customer that I think it's time to do that. But I have not been as active on LinkedIn as I wanted to. But you raised a good point. I did one provocative message. I just freehanded it again, kind of like my 22-minute video that was stupid and sterile. But I just posed a question, and it had like 85 comments, and I
Oh,
usually get 3, right? So
oh,
um,
well,
so I know I have
usually,
something. I just have
yeah.
been
Yeah.
hesitant to do.
Do the things that are, working, and then double down on those. Find the things that are
Yeah.
working and double down,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
One
Absolutely.
one thing I can see there, in particular for you in your specific case, is like maybe leveraging the caregiver networks, the
Mm.
whole infrastructure there around caregivers who may not be necessarily PTs, right? But they're directly involved with your particular client base.
It's
So that
true.
might be
Somebody who's not
good
going
to
to
get
be
a hold of them
threatened by your
there.
products.
Right.
Like, give me an
Yeah.
example.
Oh, like senior care centers, um, home health care
Mhm. Like,
providers,
yeah,
Yeah.
assisted
No.
living
you know.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I again, I've been targeting some of those, but like I said, I don't want to complain about the objections that I have received are not easily overcomeable by me,
Mhm.
meaning because it's a cash product, it's not covered by insurance. So, so again, I'm not
Yeah.
going to bore you with all the details, but home health
Okay.
agencies want to endorse insurance covered products because most of the patients can't afford something that's
Mm.
cash based. Home health
Gotcha.
agencies are a for profit, so they're not going to just stock a bunch of products that they don't see the money back immediately. Your long-term care facilities, skilled nursing facilities, and all those knee replacements don't go there anymore.
Mhm.
And so for therapy, unless they're an extreme medically complicated case, at which point my product becomes moot. And so again, I've realized that my product is not for every person. It's for the person who's spending money on gym memberships and a golf membership and good sneakers, probably a massage. So, it used to be, I think when I talked to Nate way back when, I thought everybody that had knee pain could benefit from my product. And now I've gotten smarter. It has to be the person who will deviate from what their PT says, that they'll do their own research. They're willing to try something or anything to make their knee pain better. So I've gotten better. Like I've figured
Yeah.
out who my customer is instead of everybody.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's great. Yeah. Knowing
Right,
who
yeah.
they are and where they spend their time, two crucial questions. to
80%
find
of the
out.
battle.
Yeah. No. That's my superpower is my understanding my customer. And like I said, sometimes I say things and they're like, I didn't even think about that. But yes, I've been doing that in my life. And until you said it, I didn't even know I was doing that. So that's my superpower. My superpower is, which is why I don't want to compromise customer service as I move forward and grow. I don't want to lose that ability to connect with them. And I want them to know for sure that I understand them really well and that how knee pain impacts their life. I get it.
Makes
Well,
sense.
we're at the top of the hour here. So I mean, we still could, there's other things we could discuss here if you want to keep going, but I'll leave it up to you.
Well, speaking of staying visible, we can go over like a couple of other ways to stay visible. So we talked about social media. We talked about making sure your branding is consistent and always out there. And and we talked about the marketing industrial complex. So there's also
and with the key message here is that we're doing this on a budget. So these are things that you can do that you don't necessarily have to spend money on, although it is going to take time. So yeah.
Right. So this next section we talks about like leveraging SEO. So speaking of being on a budget, you don't necessarily need to get an SEO expert and have them evaluate your website. And, I did not realize this, but SEO is just a huge business. But the bottom line of SEO is to answer your ideal client's questions using the language that they are using. And if you do that, you're 70% there, right? Because it's the content that people are looking for, that Google says, hey, this website is answering this person's question. And so it's going to show it to them and show it to other people who are asking the same question. That's ultimately what you want to have happen when it comes to SEO. It doesn't have to be such a huge, there are whole companies that, you're spending thousands of dollars every single month to build an SEO strategy, complex, whatever you call it. But the bottom line is to answer people's question and be findable.
Yeah, it depends on how far down that rabbit hole you want to go,
Right.
You can kind of be to some degree surface level about it. And as long as you are creating a website that is easy to navigate for people, it has interesting content that keeps them there, and you incorporate links internally so that people can make sense of it and Google's crawl bots can make sense of it. That is a huge chunk of the battle right there. One of the explicit reasons why why there is such a thing as search engine optimization is because Google is all about trying to provide the most high quality results for its search users, right? And so it does not want to send them to websites that are hard to navigate. People can't figure out what's going on there. They don't know, they're not able to find the information that they're looking for. So if you can provide all those things, check all those boxes, then, great. If you feel confident that that's what's going on. There's other
Yeah.
things that where you can get really technical into the SEO and making sure that it is, the fastest, most error-free website, known to man. Every image
Yeah.
is highly optimized. You have, various other, minutia there with the
And I
technicalities and
think
whatnot.
another thing to do is to keep your website simple. It doesn't need to be
Yeah,
super complicated. If the simpler your website is, the easier it is to maintain, to keep up to date, and to make sure that there are no errors and breakages, right? So part of bad SEO is having broken links on your website everywhere.
yeah,
So, if your website is simple, um, I know people who want to put, oh, I want to have this events calendar on my website. Oh, okay, great. Do you have events coming up? No. Well, then don't link to an events page, right? Don't
yeah,
send people to a page where there's nothing there for them to see. When you
yeah,
have some events that you want to list, now create a link for the events page.
yeah,
You
Can
know,
I ask
just
a question
simple
about
things
this?
like that.
yeah.
Can I ask a question about this? So I understand the value of SEO. I understand about all that stuff. So, I hired last year a blog company to write blogs because it was time consuming for me. And again, using, AI. So they're doing one blog a week. So, every week there's consistently a blog happening. So here's my question. Very few people, and they post it on my website and they post it on social media and they link people back to it. And again, and in the blogs, they're connecting to other, other sites that are credible and to other blogs that have been written by me. So, trying to do all that stuff. Now, the thing is it valuable enough? Because I pay for it, but very few people are watching it on the social media where it's posted. Very few people are liking it. There's very few comments. It seems to be very few views on it, but is the value in that it's on my website, which Google likes, it's using a ton of SEO, it has the backlinks, and it's providing consistency.
That seems to be where the more value is coming into
Well,
rather than on
but
social media, right? I mean,
well,
if that's
okay. So,
it's
but
good to
is
be on
it?
social media because when you do get leads or when you're talking to somebody, it's like, and they go to your social media account and they see stuff, it's like, oh, she knows what she's talking about, even if they never read it.
Okay.
It's just kind of
But
like, oh,
is your
she's
question?
doing
Are you
stuff.
getting? Is your question? Should you be concentrating more on social media or on SEO? Is that your question?
No, I guess my question is that a valuable use of my resources that are so limited? They're so limited. So I used to write them and I wrote them like I did my video based on what I thought, right? And then all of a sudden I pay a blog writer. Well, now it's become to me very SEO rich, very, I mean, as an outsider looking in, I'm like, clearly AI has wrote this, even though they're using it.
Mm,
Like they read all mine and they put it all in and they created the personality and they've done all those things. And it's impressive, but it's still
yeah,
not me, right? Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
talk differently than this blog does, and you can only make it so personal. I'm just asking, if I could spend that money somewhere else, that's what I would love a marketing company to tell me is, yeah, save that money you're spending on the blog writer. And you know what? Instead of doing one every week, do only two a month, but write them from, that's where, as a business owner, you struggle. I'm doing the things that I'm
Mhm.
being told to do. SEO, check. Google keyword, check.
Right.
Consistency, check. You know, social media, check. But I'm just like, what am I supposed to see as a business owner is the what am I reaping from doing this? Because, most of my sales are coming from, it says Google, but is it from the ads? Is it from search queries? Is it from the SEO? Like, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds
Yeah,
like
I
you
think
may have a
that's
Google Analytics reporting. Need to look at that and see
Which
see
again, let me
what
also
that's
tell you,
actually
as a
telling you.
business owner, I could spend 8 hours looking at data that I
Yeah.
think like, that again, it'd be like me providing you your
not
knee range
really
of motion, active
understand it.
assisted, passive, joint mobility, ligaments, laxity. Like I could give you a report about your knee that's
Hmm.
4 pages long with a ton of information. And you're like, what am I
Hmm.
supposed to do with this? What is she
Hmm.
telling me? My ligaments are
Yeah.
tight. My muscles are weak. Like what, that's my whole point. I will look at it. I've gotten another software called Clarity, which is really good. And it can show me the customers, like what they're clicking on, where they're going and doing all
Hmm.
these things. But again,
Yeah.
it's very time consuming. It has
Yeah.
led me to change my checkout process. It has led me to not update my FAQs because nobody was going on there. So it's helped me to be very intentional where I spend my time on my website. But part of me also is like, did they go to the Google ad? They went to the website, but then they read the blog and it was the blog. What made them convert? I don't know for sure.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Okay.
I also get
Need to
repeat
have-
people to the website. They spend an average of 6 minutes on my website. So again,
Oh.
it's kind of like maybe the ad got them there. So is it the ad that I should be spending more money on? Or was it the blog that I wrote that convinced them for why they should do it? Right? Or was it the
Yeah.
Google search query that was easily found to my website because of the blogs I'm writing? Don't know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, in Google Analytics, it should show you the different sources of traffic, and then you should be able to break that down, like see the people that are coming in through this channel spent this
Mhm.
much time.
Mm-hmm.
That should be available on there, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Okay.
is. Still not easy. Still not
I
easy.
gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah, and I feel
Being
like
able to sort
that
through it. Yeah. Okay.
the
Because
analytics
Fair.
shows
they'll come
you,
to the website
Yeah.
3 or 4 times before they purchase.
yeah.
So again, my question is, do you pay the money on what got them the first time? Do you get to pay the money on what converted them at the end? Like, where as a business owner do I spend my money?
Hmm.
Again,
Well,
do I double down on the
Well-
Google ads because that's what got them? Anyways, my point is,
And
you understand as a
Google,
business owner, it's still not that easy. I understand
yeah, it's
the
really not.
multiple components required to
Mm.
increase
Yeah.
traffic to your website,
yeah,
but it doesn't mean I know what's helping with the 98% of my conversions. I don't
Yeah.
know, so I can't stop doing any of it.
Well, and then Google
Actually, that's
themselves
probably
say,
true.
yeah, Google itself says that in order to convert a lead, you need to have 11 touches and 4 different
Yes.
channels and all these different ways. So yeah, so like Nate said, you can't really stop doing any of it, right?
Right.
And you ask the customer, oh, so what brought you in today? Oh, I read your article on your website, but was it the
People are
ad that brought them to the
notoriously bad about
website?
remembering
Was
that.
it the
Right.
Yeah.
did you click on the link in bio on social media or whatever?
Yeah.
They like you said, they come several times, and so you don't know which one is sending them in the first place.
Mhm.
Right. Right. And did they subscribe to my YouTube because they saw a video on Facebook and then all of a sudden they're watching all my YouTube videos for months and then all of a sudden, there's
Yeah.
so much from an entrepreneur standpoint. There's too many things for me to know why someone did what they did. But
Yeah.
boy, if I knew it, how fantastic would that be? So I could
Yeah.
rinse and repeat that.
Right.
That
Yes.
is a huge chunk of the challenge, right? Like nowadays, it's so easy for people to there's so many on-ramps available. That's kind of like what's known as the omni-channel approach to marketing.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna
Um,
say like the be everywhere approach, right? Wherever
Yeah.
your people are hanging out, if they're
Yeah.
on Facebook, be on Facebook. If they're on Google, if they're searching on Google, be on Google. If they're looking at YouTube University, be on YouTube, just be on
Mhm.
all these different places. And they may not be able to tell you whether they first saw you on Google or on YouTube and then one day decided to search, how do I fix my knee pain? And
Yeah.
your website popped up, whatever. They can't really tell you that.
Yeah.
So you just raised the whole thing of this whole time we've been talking is limited resources, limited time. You need to be
Yeah.
intentional with the things that you do. And like you guys use the
Right.
word strategy versus
Right.
tactic. And I love that. Because you're right.
Yeah.
I think the devil is in the strategy. And if your strategy is wrong, it's like, your destination is wrong. No matter how many highways you take, you're not getting to the right endpoint because you don't have the right destination. And so as an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, if somebody can solve that for me, where I feel confident that they understand the destination, then I agree. And they can explain to me the strategy to get to that destination where I can understand it, then let's go. But I feel like that's a weakness in a lot of agencies and companies, which makes me then say, I'm going to not spend the money because I'm not sure. And I don't have the money. And you're not convincing me. So therefore, let's not proceed. And then an analysis to paralysis happens. And that's not
Yeah.
good either.
Yeah.
No,
That's
it's not, because then you end up stuck.
Yeah. That's like, the the people that are selling the tactics are selling the tactics without
Mm.
necessarily, worried about, they're not necessarily worrying about, is this actually gonna, do something for the business? They just want to sell you their thing, right?
Right.
There's some people who sell tactics who are connecting it to your bigger goals and that kind of stuff. Those tend to be fewer though, I would say. But,
And I will say, sorry, I
that's
don't
the
mean to
thing.
interrupt, but the
No, go
current
ahead.
marketing people I'm using are local and they're small and they're young. And so they were
Yeah.
trying to create something. But you know what? I dangled in front of them like, hey, let's do a commission-based plan. Like, here's a base rate. But you know what?
Mm.
Every sale above this amount that I've been getting on my own, which was low, I'm like, if you're good at what you do, then that number is low. So let's give you, if I make money, you make money. Like, to me, then they have an incentive, right? And I
Yeah.
feel like that's what worked this year because
Mm.
they had an incentive for me to get more sales instead of just collecting a payment every month, whether or not GoNee made sales. And I feel like that has been a change in the trajectory. They call and they text and they have ideas as if they're part owners of my company. And I love
Mm.
that.
Mm.
But again, I will also say, hopefully they're not listening to this, recording, but to me, they're young and they don't have the experience and they don't
Mm.
have, and I'm a
Mm.
healthcare product business, an e-commerce,
Mm.
international healthcare
Yeah.
product, very different than the boutique that they're advertising for or the coffee
Yeah.
shop that's local. So I'm not naive in knowing that I'm limited in my growth based on their limitations.
Mm.
Now they know their limitations, but I'm just saying, I would love to find a company that gets it, that understands it, and can, like I said, is willing to share some of the risk with me.
Mm.
Because like I said,
Mm.
I paid them more in commissions than I do their monthly rate because
Yeah.
they're doing a great job. But every
Yeah.
other company prior to that just wanted to get paid no matter what. Well, then where's your urgency when you're already getting paid no matter what? And I don't,
Mm.
Do
right?
you find that well, let me ask you this. What is your number one, what's your biggest I guess what's your big goal here for 2025?
I'm going to start an email newsletter that has a free and a paid version.
Okay.
Because I've realized
Well,
that people want my knowledge and experience and advice more than they want my knee product.
there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you
So
gonna write that yourself?
That's a great question, Smoke.
yeah.
I mean, I want to say no, but I feel like the videos that did well were the ones that I wrote from my brain.
Mhm.
And the blogs that I wrote with my own hands that took forever are the highest performing blogs that get people to convert. And I feel like I need to listen to that. And I'm not trying to
Yeah.
overextend myself. So I'm doing like a monthly newsletter. That's my goal for the first 9 months. It's just once a
Quality,
month.
not quantity.
Right. And it will be good. There will be 3 components.
Yes.
I'm going to, hit the things, but here's your free information. If you want a little bit more real specific advice that I don't want to give unless you're paying me for it, then here's that. And it will be, like I said, me being like, let me tell you about stem cell therapy injections for your knee. This is what you're not reading online. Like, I want
Mm.
to cut through the fluff that they can't
Mm.
find as if
Mm.
I was their PT sitting in front of them. And it will cost them less than one PT copay visit for the entire year subscription. Like,
Mm.
Wow.
low cost, high value. And now all of a sudden I could have recurrent revenue for my company instead of being reliant on the Google ads, blogs, the SEOs and whatever.
Yeah.
So for 2025, I have realized my product is fantastic, but not everybody can afford it. It's a hard product to sell. It's a high ticket item. It's $399. And I'm like, my Google reviews, all of them have my knowledge, my wisdom, and my experience that they brag about, not my actual revolutionary product. So that's what I'm doing. I'm creating what my customer needs, which is
That
insider information.
that is truly expanding on your
Essentials.
personal branding
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
turning that into
And
a
also listening to your customer.
yeah.
Well, and not even
Yeah.
listening to my customer. I feel like my customer doesn't even know they need this. By talking to them, I realize they are just passive recipients on this knee pain journey and they're getting bad advice based on the business. Oh, buy my ice machine, buy my knee wrap. You should get injections. Well, that's not the right time to get so to me, I'm like, wow, I want to treat everyone like they're my family member. And I am a knee expert. And let me tell you, do not go to that doctor and don't get that injection and don't try that knee brace. And I don't care if insurance covers that. Don't do it. Like, that's what I feel like they need. And it's a global. I mean, People, Goni has gone into the UK and France and Australia and Japan and Thailand just this past year. So, and
Awesome.
I don't ship internationally because it's so expensive for me because of the volume. I can't. So I've done it, but what I realized was they want my knowledge more than they want my product. And so this could be hundreds of millions of people subscribing to a newsletter for a couple of dollars a month.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
hence, I don't the sales I'm getting right now with the 10 touch points and the automated emails, that's going to fund what I want to do. So I can't stop doing that. But in order to create what I want to create, I have to automate my current product business so that I can create this. Because if the newsletter takes off, I need to increase it to twice a month. There's things I'm going to have to do.
Mm.
So that's my struggle today. Part of my listening today was I know I need to automate. I don't know what can be automated, how it should be automated. I feel like I do things in silos, and that's better than what I was doing before. So I am better than I was a year ago, but I'm not naive in thinking there's a lot of fluff that needs to be eliminated through automations and connections that I'm not aware of. And I need expertise on that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So do you think that, would you say that is your biggest challenge that you're facing now, is that's where you're at, feeling that you need to automate but not knowing where to start
Yes.
in
And I don't want to do it.
nutshell?
I don't want to do it half-ass. I want
Yeah.
someone who could actually be like, it's like building a house. If you know the foundation and the blueprints are perfect, you're good to go. But I'm scared my blueprints are flawed. And I will
Yeah.
find out 3 years from now that they were flawed and I didn't do it the right way. And I'm going to have to undo stuff. And I hate the thought of, I want to measure twice and cut once.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yep. Makes sense. Okay.
And I'm in a small
Sounds
town.
good.
And I use a lot of free resources like, small business development and, all these different mentorships that are available in the state of Tennessee where I live. And I feel like I'm getting what I'm paying for, which is free advice from people. And I'm aware of this, but I'm also in a financial, and I'm not going to go through my sob story of starting a business in 2020 in healthcare when they stopped doing surgeries and stopped doing in-person marketing. So, but my point is I've accrued a lot of debt in the past 5 years and I have to pay those. So, and I have a family and, so I have to be financially responsible. I cannot, I can tell you every dollar where it goes. I know every $2.99 subscription and plugin that I pay for. I know all of it. Because so to me, a service like this is valuable, but sometimes I might have to be like, I can't grow at the rate I want to grow because I just simply can't afford that service.
Yeah.
So biggest headaches for 2025, how to automate things without costing an arm and a leg so that processes I can trust them. They're going to execute. It's not going to compromise my customer service. And number 2, I want to execute I'm going to call it a new product line, which is a newsletter. That's my goals for 2025. And find one surgeon or 1 or 2 surgeons and 1 or 2 therapists that want to do right by their patients and do that. That's my 2025 goals.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that, I think it'd be definitely worth us sitting down and going through,
sounds like it. Like I said, I'm open to hearing it. Yeah.
I'll just tell you right now, it'll take maybe as much as 4 hours to go through everything. Do you think that is a possibility to do in one time, or would that be better to break up? We can discuss more about it, but just to kind of give you a heads up on that.
I would like to do it all in one time.
It's a monetary and time investment. So.
No, I would like to do it all in one if possible. But my fear is that the things you might be requesting of me, I may not know how to get it to. Like I've used a virtual assistant to help me in the past. I have friends that have helped me with things in the past because I am very naive and technologically unsavvy. And so that would be my only worry, is that you're going to ask for things that I don't know how to get.
Yeah, gotcha.
Oh, and I should ask you, this needs assessment. I mean, obviously I would need to know the cost associated with anything like that.
Yep. We'll send you a detailed proposal on that afterwards. So yeah. All right. Well, this is a good discussion, and I'm glad you came to talk. It sounds like you are fired up and ready to go, and you have yeah, I'm inspired by your journey here. It's been quite a long rough road, I think, from
Yeah,
what
I feel like if you could
I've
remember
heard.
our first
So
conversation, like I said, I mean, I have learned
yeah,
so much, I've grown so much. I remember some of the things that you said. Like I said, I took everything that you said and I ran with it.
yeah,
But yeah, no, it's doing exceptionally well. It is all the sales are paying for all the bills, which is a big deal in
yeah,
a product business with that. Like we have a lot of fees. Service businesses are a little different than a product
yeah.
business that has manufacturing and all that stuff. But yeah,
Hmm.
I am paying all my own bills. And but now the my time, like Simone said, I can't afford to hire someone, but I can try to figure out how to work smarter, not harder, and try to automate some of the tasks that I'm doing manually right now. And
Hmm.
that is a priority for me.
Okay, awesome.
Oh,
All right, well, we'll definitely be in touch here. What's your timeline looking like? What do you when you want to get going on this? And
I mean, you give me some times and I will set it up.
ASAP,
I
is
mean,
that
yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a
sooner rather than
priority of
later?
mine. Like
yesterday.
I am working on it as we speak. Like
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
I just got the Zapier subscription. I just got my web host to link
okay.
everything up. Like I am working towards getting this automation thing set up. Like I've got all the templates created, videos that are going to be embedded in the emails. Like all the things are happening right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Well then, we'll be in touch soon.
Sounds
Yeah.
great. No, it's super exciting for me. And again, the analogy is you've had knee pain for 3 years and no
Yeah,
one has helped you. Okay. Or
yeah,
not
yeah,
long term. Could you imagine if someone was like, I think
yeah.
I think I can help you with this knee pain and it's gonna help you for the next 10 years. Like that's what I'm feeling. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's a possibility. But
Yeah, if you remember, I did have knee surgery, so I can definitely identify with that.
I thought you did. I thought you did. And so yeah,
Yeah,
so again,
yeah.
I understand that pain and the uncertainty and
Mhm.
whatever, but like I said, I mean to me, yeah, I just want some help. I want some honesty. I want some transparency. And but I mean, am I opposed I worked till midnight last night and I'm okay with it. I have one child left at home, so I got all the time in the world. I just prefer to not continue doing that for a long, long, long time. Um,
Yeah.
but I will tell you, my
Yeah.
number one thing is cost. I have to keep costs down
Yeah,
until I don't.
yeah. Okay, okay.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right.
We'll be in touch very soon, and I appreciate it again.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's do our wrap
definitely
up because
yeah, yeah.
we're still
Simone, take
on
it
YouTube.
away. I forgot broadcasting
Well,
live.
the big point of what we're doing, our discussion today was use the different. There are ways to stay visible, to be in front of your audience on a consistent basis without spending a ton of money on different tools. And the one of the biggest things that we talked about is that, especially with Shayla here, is that you want to speak to a marketer who is concerned with what you and your business needs rather than what they want to sell. So ultimately that's what you want when you're looking at getting outside help for marketing. But if you are doing it all yourself, there are fantastic tools available. We live in an AI age. It's kind of a renaissance, really,
Mm.
that is helping us to put to generate content, create content that can stay consistent, that we can stay consistent on our socials, doing articles, newsletters, blogs, all that kind of stuff, that allows us to keep generating content on a consistent basis. And it takes less time. It takes so much less time. Although Shayla did say, if it just comes straight out of your brain, she's actually getting better results. So there is an argument, and it may depend on your audience. There is an argument for quality over quantity. So those are things to keep in mind. And then we also talked about branding and making sure that your branding is consistent across all of your platforms and in every place where people see you, so that they're looking at you and they're seeing your unique value rather than you sharing with them other people's other people's platforms and products, and confusing them. We don't want to confuse our people. What do you
Yeah.
think, Nate?
But we got a great idea from Shayla about personal branding and how you can turn that into a moneymaker for yourself as well. Because like we live in information age, right? And part of the problem is there's so much information out there, like trying to figure out what's valuable and what's not. When you come across someone who obviously knows what they're talking about, people latch onto that, and it's a great way to get people to stop the scroll, because you're setting yourself up as an expert. You know what you're talking about. People want to hear more, and that can, people find that people will give you money for that. So believe it or not, I think was it Justin? Oh my gosh, somebody on LinkedIn, I forgot now, but they said that I guarantee you there's somebody out there willing to pay $5,000 for what's inside your head. You might think it's something, you know, obvious, right? But they're, you know, don't assume that everyone else understands or knows what you know. So it's very valuable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, if you enjoyed this discussion today, if you want to get in on it, let us know, comment, and or contact us and let us know. Like this, subscribe to the channel, and share this out to other people, other business owners who may be as frustrated as Shayla is with marketing companies. Maybe they need a different tack. So share this channel with them, and this video with them, and then we'll all be better for it, right? Because we'll all be doing marketing better. And that's what we want ultimately. So we're going to say goodbye. See you next time.